question is, how did you know your partner was the one? I'm extremely excited to hear what this beautiful queen of mine has to say. So, baby, my love,
Yes, dear.
my queen,
You're so corny.
let me know.
Okay.
How did you know I was the one?
So, to be honest, to be completely honest.
To be honest, because that's what I want. I want the real.
I didn't know. Like, I didn't know that you were the one. I knew that I loved you. I knew that we were driven together. I knew we could make some shit happen together. I knew we were great partners. I knew that we loved each other very deeply. I knew we was go-getters, ambitious. Like, I knew all of these things about us together. And I'm like, I didn't know if you were the one, but I knew I was willing to explore life with you. Right. You know, because we grew so much when we were teenagers, basically. Right. So I just knew that you were a dope person and I wanted to spend my life with you. Exploring life, having this human experience together. But I wasn't sure if you were the one. I don't really understand what the one is, because for me, saying like the one, it means like there's only one person out there in the world for you. Right. I don't think that's necessarily true. I'm gonna tell you what I think. I think is whoever gets to you first and is willing to challenge you, go through life with you, grow with you, all of those things. So I don't think there's a particular like one person. You just so happened to catch me first because you were smart and you realized you had a catch.
Okay.
And you did what you needed to do to make sure you had me in the bag.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. So I bagged the baddie.
You bagged the baddie. Like, name of the episode, bagged the baddie. Okay. But yeah, so I don't technically believe in the one, but do I believe you're my one now? Yes. After everything we've created together, how we've grown together, everything we've built together, yes, you are my one. Absolutely. But I didn't know that until after we built some stuff together, after we went through some shit together, right. You know, and we've grown from that. Like, now I can say, hell yeah, that's my one. That's my man, like, period. You know what I mean?
I love it.
Does that make sense?
No, yeah. I got it. Because answering the same question, I don't necessarily know if I believe that there's a one.
Right.
Like, we've had this conversation multiple times before, and to be honest, I think that as you grow and as you develop, like, and you get to that point where you want a one or you want to have somebody in your life, I think that we're, depending on where we are in life, we're introduced with opportunities to have somebody come into our life to where we can make that person a one.
Yeah.
And so when I met you, I knew for a fact that I wanted to have you in my life. I didn't know what capacity. I didn't know if we were just going to be friends. I didn't know if we would one day be together. All I knew for a fact was I want this woman to be a part of my life in any way possible. I knew that much. And so, like, as we continue, to grow closer, as I got to know you, I knew that I wanted to have something more with you, but I didn't know if that was even going to be able to be a thing. But when I made up in my mind, I was like, hey, you know what? I'm going to love on this woman in such a way that she's only going to be able to compare any other man that she ever experiences in life to how I loved on you. And so when I made up in my mind...
Motherfucking strategic.
Yeah, like, that was literally, like, my intention. So when I made up in my mind that I was going to do that, I wanted to make you my one. And so the thing behind that is, for me, is I knew I had a lot of stuff that I had to work on for me. I know that you had some demands. I knew that you had a certain standard. And I knew that we were both really kind of working on each other independently. But what I do believe for a fact is that there were a lot of opportunities where I probably would have and could have fumbled our relationship because of what I was dealing with at the time. So I feel like you were my first opportunity to have a one, so to say. And at that time, I showed up and showed that I was willing to go through the transformation of becoming more so that way I could have you. Because there was a lot of resistance.
Right.
There was a lot of things, I know there was some things that you didn't necessarily like that I did.
Yeah.
I had some pretty negative character traits and all of those things. But as I got warnings from other people that was close to us, and they was like, hey, Trone, like, you need to figure this out because this is a beautiful woman right here. Like, she gets attention. It's just going to happen or whatever. You're going to have to go through whatever it is that you need to get through so that way you're going to need to become whoever you need to become so that way you don't lose this woman. And I took that to heart. And I had to become the man that could have you. And there was a lot of resistance there. So even though I wanted you to be my one, I really had to work on me so that way I could be ready for you and so that I could have you and not fumble that opportunity. Because I also believe that it's not that there's a one for you, it's will you be ready and will you have become the person that you need to become for when that person shows up.
Right, to even recognize that that's who that is.
Exactly, because it's like believing that there's only one. I don't think God is that cruel. Personally, I don't think God is that cruel. He was like, look, man, you only got one shot to do something. You messed this one up, like, it's over with. You know what I mean? Because it's like, look at all of the other things and like how we encounter so many other different things in life, be it business, be it in friendships, be it in all of these other elements of our lives. We have opportunities. I believe that God gives us opportunities to show up for the things that we say that we want. And I don't even believe that it's only one opportunity. I feel like He will continue to give us opportunities to show that we are ready for whatever it is that we say that we want. And sometimes we rise to the occasion and other times that we don't. And then when we eventually start the self-grooming process, eventually we get to a point to where we can have that thing. And I don't think that there's necessarily a one, but I do believe that when I made up in my mind that I wanted to make you my one, I was willing to go through the changes that I needed to go through so that way I could have you. And I think what was fortunate about what we had is you were in the process of doing the exact same for you. So we both met each other at the perfect time that made us, basically, that gave us the opportunity to have each other because of the way that we showed up for one another. So I think it was a lot of our intentional effort and our desire to have each other to where we were willing to make each other our one. Because once I got you, I knew I wasn't letting you go. That much, I'm sure.
Smart man.
I'm sure that much.
Smart man. It's good to know your answer.
Yeah.
I don't think we've ever really talked about, like, us personally, like, how did I know you were the one type thing. So this was a good conversation. So how do you know I'm the one now? Like, in this moment right now, how do you know I'm the one? Because in marriage, like, we have to show up for each other every day. I have to be married every day. I have to be committed to you every single day. It's a choice.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So how do you know? How do you wake up in the morning and choose me every single day?
It's not even how do I
that
do
question
that.
Came out of nowhere.
Yeah,
That was good. It was good.
It's not even how do I do that. It's the fact that I do that.
Okay.
Like, I literally say that every day I'm going to work on becoming and being who I need to be so that way I can keep you as my one. Because, again, like, it's not something that doesn't require effort. Like, I have to choose you every single day.
Absolutely.
I have to choose to be who you need every single day.
Right.
I have to choose to love you the way that you need every single day. And so I think it's like every single day, it's like you're starting over, you know, like fresh, right?
Yeah.
So it's like you're my one for right now, as long as I continue to make that decision every single day. And I've made that decision for the past 11 years of my life. Yeah. And so I think it's more so of looking at the fact that it's not that you only just have, you know, like a one, so to say, but it's the fact that you have two people that are literally choosing to continue to have each other every single day and doing what's necessary in order to maintain that.
Yeah.
Because we can't get so high up on ourselves that just because we got a thing, that the thing is always going to be there.
Right.
And so it's like, okay, well, I did all this stuff to get my one. I don't have to do nothing else no more. And you end up fumbling.
And you look stupid.
You end up fumbling it or whatever. Because it's like saying that it makes it seem like the job is over.
Yeah, right.
Makes it seem like the work is over. Like, no, like, you're developing, you're becoming a new woman. Like your
it's
desires.
The beginning of a new stage. Yeah. It's just a new stage or a new phase, you know? Yeah.
And as we both continue to grow, like our demands, our desires, our ambitions, all of these different things change. And we have to keep basically growing, you know, individually and together, so that way we keep that attraction. We keep that desire to continue to grow and become who each other needs, so that way we can continue to have each other. Like as you grow and develop, I have to do the same thing, so that way I can keep what it is that I say that I want.
Right.
So it's a daily choice.
Yeah.
Like it's like choosing this person every single day, and whatever comes along with that, and literally deciding that, you know what, I'm gonna show up.
Yeah.
So.
Good answer. Good answer. Good answer.
Same for you then. Same for you.
What was the question? Shit. Okay, what I asked, I said.
Well, more so because
I really forgot your question.
You said that you don't necessarily believe that there's necessarily a one.
Okay,
right? So
but I asked how you choose me every single day. That's what I asked, right?
Well, I mean, if that was the immediate question, I didn't answer it all the way. You said how?
Yeah.
The how is because.
That's what I asked you, bruh.
I know.
It was a good. Your answer was good, but I asked you, how do you choose me every day, though?
Because I want to.
Yeah.
Because I want to. It's like how? Like.
Yeah.
I literally desire to.
Right.
Like I don't think it's a deep answer for that. Like I literally want to. Like I wake up, I roll over, I look at you. Morning face, everything, and I'm like, man, all of that, and I'm like, I like this girl. I want to do this again.
I like you.
I like you. I'm like, you know what? I want to do this another day.
Right.
And another day.
And another one.
And another day.
And another one.
Yeah. Like, I want to keep doing this. And
yeah.
It's like ain't no deep.
It don't require no thinking.
It don't require no thinking. Like I just wake up, man, and I see you next to me. You know, if the light ain't on, I don't see you, because, you know, we be up there.
You can feel me right there, though.
But
you know my presence is
there. Yeah, like I like this thing.
I do.
I like life with you.
I enjoy being married to you. I think us being married together is a motherfucking cheat code, because we're like a fucking, I don't even really know how to describe it. It's just like the way we mesh so well. Like you're strong in certain areas and I'm strong in certain areas. Like where you're not as strong, I'm able to fill in that void. Where I'm not as strong, you're able to fill in that void. And it's just like this freaking like beautiful ass fucking dance that we do. And it just works. Like it works for us. And then the fact that we started out as best friends too. So it wasn't like, okay, like you saw me and you was like, boom, I want to date her immediately. No, we developed a dope ass friendship first, and then we went into dating, engaged, married. You know, granted, you know, our whole like dating, engaged, marriage part, it only took like 6 months for us to do that. But it's because we were friends for 2.5 years before that. We knew everything about each other.
Right.
So it made sense for like, okay, well, this time frame will be a little shorter because we spent so much time getting to know each other, learning each other, growing with each other.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's beautiful. Like what we got is beautiful. Marriage is a dope ass thing.
But I think there was so much effort in there. Like,
yeah.
I feel like we could probably spend episodes and episodes and episodes talking about all of our ups and downs throughout, you know, those 2.5 years that actually.
And I'm sure we will talk about it.
Like that led towards us actually being married.
Yeah.
And all of that stuff, but it came with a lot. Like, you know, it came with so much of us being willing to try harder, us being willing to get out of each other's own way. Mm-hmm. There was a lot of, you know, personal issues that both of us had to overcome. Mm-hmm. There was a lot of self-doubt. There was a lot of insecurity. There was all of these things or whatever. But like you said, like because we were friends, we had such a strong foundation to the point to where regardless of what happened, we knew that we wanted to be in each other's life. And I think that was like probably one of the strongest things that we had. Like no matter what happened in what direction, like we were still gonna be locked in.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think that when the opportunity presented itself, you know what I mean? Like for us to actually be together, I think we both kind of just jumped at it. You know what I mean? And I think that it couldn't have worked out any more perfect than what it had been. And also, I feel like the amount of tests and trials and everything that we had gone through at that time, I felt like there was not like, if whatever had happened before didn't shake us and break us, then there was no way that we couldn't keep winning together, regardless of anything. Even at the young age of, what, 20?
Yeah, what happened at 20?
Yeah, we was 20. Well, 20 when we got, actually, 20 is when we got together and married.
No, we was 21.
21 we got 21. Married. We had just turned.
We just turned 21 in August, and then December, that's when we got married. So it was 21. Yeah. I was telling people about that at our brunch this morning.
You know what? Exactly, because I got arrested when I was 20.
Oh, that's same story for another next episode.
Yeah. So that happened, and then the following month we turned 21.
Yeah.
A few months later we was married. Anyway.
Yes.
Another episode for that. But yeah, man, it just happened quick, but not so quick.
It wasn't quick. I don't think we did a lot of growing over those like 2.5 years. We were up each other's asses. Like we were always together, always learning, literally we were. Anywho, you like threw me all the way off, Brett. Like, what? Hold up, this is not that type of show.
Rewind.
but for real, like we were really up under each other all the time. You know, just getting to know each other. Like I knew your likes, your dislikes. I knew your deepest, darkest secrets. Like you knew we knew so much about each other. So a lot of work was put in during those like 2.5 years.
Right.
You know, a lot happened during those 2.5 years to test us. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't a short amount of time, and in my opinion, and we were so young. Yeah. We were 18, 19. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, I don't know. The time did what it needed to do. We just had to do what we needed to do in that time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And I don't think that, we rushed a lot of it. I think when we did get to the point to where we were together, we were sure.
Yeah.
Like, it didn't require a whole bunch of additional time for us to decide like that we wanted to be together for like the rest of our lives.
Right.
So it was like we had all of that time that we spent as friends and all of the growing that we did. But when we finally made the decision to actually be together, we was like, bro, this is so watered down compared to what we actually want.
Yeah.
And so it didn't require much of anything for us to go from we just was dating today and now we married.
Yeah.
And it was like, he's like, nah, but like we want to go all in on this thing.
Yeah, because I don't think it take that much fucking time to realize you want to be with somebody. Like either you do or you don't. Like,
right.
And if you realize you don't want to be with me, why are we even together? Period.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And you know what though? Like even on top of it, like it had to be another episode, but there was so much that had to be overcame over those 2 years and stuff like that.
Of course.
But even with that being the case, a lot of what we had experienced together, I think it shows that love can be so unique because there's some people, you know, who don't come with as many complications and challenges and stuff like that we face, and they can fall for each other and go from I just met you to husband and wife in a matter of months. But I think that it definitely goes to show that when two people know that they're right for each other, it don't really require a whole lot of extra stuff in order to know that, hey, you know what, I really want to be with this person. But I think that when you're really intentional about how you spend your time, how you get to know a person, when you're doing stuff like that, like I think things can progress in a
No, go ahead. Finish your statement. I'm just raising my hand.
Things can progress in a way, you know, to where it can bring two people together, you know, in maybe unconventional ways.
Okay. So I'm gonna have to disagree.
Okay.
With you. I don't think I knew I was right for you. I wasn't sure if I was right for you.
I knew that.
Because you were saying, because your statement was that, you know, people know that they're right for each other, something along those lines. And I'm like, for me, I didn't know whether I was right for you at all. Like which is why it took us so long to even get out of the friend zone, because I wasn't even sure. Like, bro, I might fuck this shit up. Like, I done went through too much stuff. I might fuck this friendship up. Like, I don't want to do that. But I wasn't sure if I was right for you. But I wanted to figure that out with you.
Yeah, but
like, I was really intentional about that. And it's like, okay, well, if I'm not, but I think it took a lot of personal growth too. Is like, okay, I feel like I might not be right for him, but why do I feel that way? Mm-hmm. It has nothing to do with you. It had nothing to do with you. It had everything to do with me and my own internal conflicts on whether or not I deserve this type of love, whether or not I deserve this type of affection. You know what I'm saying? And was moments where I'm like, this, I don't like this, I don't like that. But that was me not accepting that, because I'm like, I'm not used to this. Like, why this man so good to me? Why he so nice to me? Like, the fuck he want from me? You know, and that was in the beginning stages, but it took me some time to really embrace that I deserved a man of your caliber who actually gave a fuck. Like, you know what I'm saying?
But that's what I'm like. So when I was making that statement, it was more so from the time we actually got together, like that time period, because like I said, we had a lot to unpack and get through and stuff like that leading up into that 2.5 years. Like, we had a lot that we had to like go through, but I think like after we were actually together, it didn't require as much effort because we knew that we wanted to at least give it a shot.
Yeah, and I agree with that. I still had those feelings. Like, I still, like, even after we got together, I still have those feelings. Like, I know I was like, we should just go ahead and do this thing. I want to be with you, blah, blah, blah. But I still had my own internal conflicts on whether or not, like, this was right. Because what if I fuck this shit up? I've never seen what a successful marriage really look like. I don't got no motherfucking role models. How do you build a marriage? How do you do this shit? What is marriage? What is it?
I mean, but that's,
you know what I'm saying?
That's a part of the process. Because I mean,
no, I agree with you, but I'm saying like that was my own like internal thoughts. You know, I'm like, I'm not sure if I'm right for him or we're right for each other, but I'm willing to go through this process together with him to figure this shit out. You know, and we can figure it out along the way. Like, we don't got to know everything because we don't, but we can create our own along the way.
Yeah, because I had the same, worries.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how to be nobody's husband.
Yeah.
You know, like, and marrying you came with a lot. Like, being with you came with a lot. But I was like, man, I'm going to figure this thing out with you. Mm-hmm. Like, and that was the joy of knowing what you added to me was so much bigger than anything else that could have even remotely been like a point of friction. Like, I would rather go on this journey and figure this thing out with you than sit over here and focus on what if or the potential negative side or even my own imperfections. I'm like, man, I'll learn this stuff over time. Like, I don't know how to be a husband, but I'll learn.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know how to, be a dad. I don't know how to be none of this stuff. Yeah. But if I try, hell, I ain't know how to be a freaking soldier.
Give yourself a chance,
You know what I'm saying? Like, so all of those different things were just, it was challenges that we both had to really openly accept. Mm-hmm. And I don't even think, like, man, even in our first year, I can't really even count the first year because we weren't even together. Yeah, but I think even like the first handful of years, like, we were still really trying to figure stuff out and trying to create stuff in a way that made sense to us. Right. Because like you said, like, we didn't have no example of anything like that to follow. Yeah. So we really had to like just try stuff, do stuff, have a whole lot of real conversations. Yeah, and just figure out like who are we gonna be together? Yeah. And I think that was probably one of the biggest things, because I know when you literally accept each other at that level, like, so much more of you, like, comes out, because that novelty of life is kind of gone, so to say, because now you've picked up so much more responsibility. Like, hey, not only are we together now, but you're my responsibility. Like, I have to take care of you. I have to be this role, you know, in your life as a husband, as a spouse, as a partner, all of those different things. And that energy is completely different from boyfriend. It's completely different from best friend.
It's a little heavy.
Yeah. And you have to learn how to fulfill that role. And it's like not based off of whatever you hear somewhere else or whatever role models you have. It's based off of what your partner needs and your willingness to fulfill that need the way that they need it.
Yeah.
So it's not even about like, oh, well, I want to be like this couple over here, or their relationship goes, or I admire this husband and or this man and the way he runs his household or whatever. Because none of that applies.
Right.
None of that applies. So you have to mold something that's unique to you and the person that you're with, so that way you can show up and be who it is that you need to be for yourself, for your partner, and for your household. Right. And we had to learn all of that from scratch.
Yeah, as babies.
Yeah, and because there was a lot of like little conflicts like here, like never nothing crazy. It was just us figuring out like how do we do this life thing together.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. And we were so young, you know, but we was like, you know what, we're gonna do this shit. Like, basically, you know what I mean? We're gonna do this shit. Like, challenge accepted. It wasn't really like a challenge, but you know what I'm saying? It's like I was so okay with creating from scratch with you because we ain't regular. Like, we're goofy, we're fun, and we wanted our marriage to be that shit too. We don't want to be super serious all the time. Yeah. Like, I've never seen a marriage that I've ever looked at and been like, dang, I want what they got. Like, I can't relate to that.
I think that shit is toxic.
Because it's really, I feel like that's really, really weird because you don't know what they've been through. You don't know what they're going through right now to even get them to where they are. You know what I'm saying? And people really show up with picture perfect masks a lot, you know, and then next thing you know, divorced. And you like, what? But I thought they looked like they was, no. You know what I'm saying?
And you never really even get to see the real of what was really happening.
Right.
Because I was telling, you know, a friend of mine a little while back, I was like, man, if only you knew what our last three-ish odd years looked like.
Right.
It would have been so easy to see opportunities for us to turn on each other.
Yeah.
It would have been so easy for us to like point fingers and blame or whatever. But every challenge we've faced since 2019, we've always like paused and said, hey, we got to figure this out together.
Come out swinging together.
And every challenge that's attacked our household, we will pause, see where we at, and we will figure out what to do next together.
Yeah.
And it was never no, you're the enemy, I'm the enemy, or something else is the enemy. It's like, hey, this is the target. We have to figure out how to get here together. In this role or in this situation, you lead. In this situation, I lead. But whatever it is, we finna get to this thing together, and we're not finna turn on each other because we need each other's support.
Yeah.
And it's like in understanding that, like it kind of takes us back to the first question, right? Of how you know that your partner is the one. And I think the fact that we're even able to operate like that is because even from the beginning, we had such genuine intention in getting to know each other and being interested in each other that we learned how to support each other in a certain type of way to where it can't be mimicked. You know what I mean? Like, it can't be duplicated. Like, I feel like I know you at your core and I know how to support you because of my deep, burning desire to know who is this woman. What does she need? What is she longing for? And how do I help facilitate some of those needs? How can I help be in position to give you what you need or whatever? How can I be able to be a person who understands you in a way that nobody else does, so that way when opportunity shows up to be able to serve you and to support you and to love you and all of these different things or whatever, I can do it not from a selfish, I'm trying to get something from you standpoint, but from the standpoint of I want to be able to serve this woman that I love and that I care about the way that she needs it. Because so many times you'll see people, you know, they say that they're being supportive, but they're being supportive the way that they want to be supportive. Yeah. And the way that they think they should be supportive, rather than the way that the person needs their support. Right. And not realizing that all of those are very different things, but you can only get that with having a high level of intention and understanding about the person.
Right.
So it goes back to like us really taking the time to get to know each other unselfishly.
And it's a constant. It's a
Yeah,
constant.
'cause
You
it
know,
keeps changing.
we change often. Like we're evolving often, you know? So it takes intentional work every day, you
Right.
know? So I think a lot of people get kind of lost in that. Like, oh, well, this is the person I married, and then next thing you know, they're changing. You're like, well, you're not the person I married. It's like,
You're supposed to change.
You're supposed to change. Like that's
Yeah,
like a
you're
part of
supposed to
being a
change.
human. That's the dope thing about being a human.
Yeah.
Because a lion gonna be a lion, a tiger gonna be a tiger. But a human, you can evolve, you can change career, you can change emotionally. Like it's so many different ways, different parts of us, or different
Right.
aspects where we can change, and that shit is so fucking dope. And like no one should want to be the same. I wouldn't want you to be the same because honestly, if you were the same guy that I married, I probably wouldn't be with you right now.
You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying?
I'm like, look.
And that's like
We
real
keep it
because
real. If I look back at stuff from, I posted from 13, and I'd be like, Jesus Christ, Trone. I wouldn't want to be with me. I'm like, bruh, he was tripping.
So like we've grown so much together, and that's so dope. It's like I'm more in love with you now than I was when we first got married. Like I am obsessed with you. Like it is sickening how obsessed I am with you. It's probably borderline crazy, but it's all right.
I'm cool with it. That's why I ain't worried about nothing.
You ain't worried about that? Okay.
I know I got this on lockdown.
Okay.
Not lockdown literally, but I know it ain't going nowhere.
Yeah.
No, you ain't going nowhere.
Anyway, I forgot what I was finna say after that. I was drinking my water. I still didn't finish my gallon.
But yeah, man, I think that the fact that people will show up in relationships and expect their partners not to change, like that's kind of a toxic trait because it's like I believe that in life, like either we're growing or we're dying. Like there's no in between ground, and the only way to grow is to change. Mm-hmm. Like you don't start off one way and then end the exact same way. Mm-hmm. So who are we to deny a person the opportunity to grow and develop, to evolve, to transform or whatever? Right. It's like you should welcome that, and you should be doing the same. Yeah. Because again, like nobody. We don't own each other. You know what I mean?
Right. It's
like we're both having our own like lives, our own human experience or whatever, and we've decided to do this thing called life together. Yeah. And so it's like, okay, well, as you're evolving, as you're changing or whatever, as I'm evolving, as I'm changing, how do we continue to do life together? How do we keep things interesting? How do we keep falling for each other? How do we keep growing and doing these different things together that give us the opportunity to make our love evolve? And so it's not that it's even like it should never be looked at being something negative. It's an opportunity to further evolve the love that two people have together, and it should be embraced, in my opinion. Yeah. And I think that since we've embraced it, it's allowed us to be able to have, you know, what we would call a successful marriage and relationship. Because we've accepted so much of each other and we've been able to have this journey that's constantly changing. Like I really look forward to seeing the woman that you're going to become 12 months from now, 5 years from now. I'm so excited because I know that woman's going to be nothing like the woman I'm with today. And that's exciting to me, like that constant change. Yeah. I feel like I got to keep chasing you. Yeah. Like, I gotta keep chasing you or whatever, like, and that's exciting me because it's like, I also have to keep getting better. Yeah. And I also gotta keep leveling up myself so that way you can continue to desire me and crave me and all of those different things too. Like, it's, you know, we Leos, baby, it's the hunt. Yeah. It's the hunt. Like, I'm growing, you growing, and we keep pursuing each other throughout our growth. And I think that shit makes this love thing dope, man.
It is dope.
It makes it dope. And I like you.
I like you.
I like you like you.